Hello and welcome to Goa 365's Face to Face. Now, politics in Goa has been heating up over the past almost a month. And today we have with us a professional. He has been known in Goa as a professional for some time now. He is an advocate, a quite famous criminal lawyer. And he has taken the plunge into politics. I welcome to our studio Advocate Amit Palyekar. Amit Bab, welcome to our show. And before we actually get into the hardcore, the actual, I would like to know what made you. I know you were always, you were into social work and lots of things. But what made you actually take the plunge into hardcore politics, Amit?
See, you've been associated with every politician or every election that Santa Cruz has seen. I mean, I have been actively involved for last almost 30 years with the political parties, or for that matter, every elections that came into Santa Cruz. Now, every time we chose a leader who got elected, but at some point of time we realized that none of them performed. Santa Cruz has been most neglected constituency. We call it a cursed constituency for ourselves because every leader who has come, and in fact, even though they have been into ruling parties and in government, Santa Cruz has not seen that development that Santa Cruz wants to see. Basic amenities na. You see, there people have problems with electricity, people have problems with garbage, people have no roads. And if you see, the standard of living of almost half of the constituency is virtually very, very bad. And you see electricity being, in 24 hours, at least 10 times electricity goes. So, how can you think of a place like Santa Cruz, which is so close in proximity to the capital? Less than 3 kilometers. In fact, part of Santa Cruz or constituency, Mercedes, has been usurped by CCP. So, we are like part of. Yeah, it has been. Nobody has looked at that place. Morombio Grand or Morombio Pekin, which is considered as Pato Plaza, is actually Mercedes. So, it's if you see the leadership that Santa Cruz has seen, nobody has pointed out these facts. Nobody has gone to people and asked them what they want. Now, if it was taken away from Santa Cruz, there should have been something that has to be given back to us, which we are lacking. Just because a highway passes in between our constituency doesn't make us a prosperous constituency. You see, the part of it falls in a place where part of Donapola starts and goes up to, initially it used to go up to Panvelim, where MP resides, but now it's also bifurcated into Panjim. But if you see the part of Chimbal, you see part of Mercedes, it is still the neglected one. And then when you know that leaders that you choose are not going to perform, you need to take a plunge. And that is the reason why I was prompted to take this decision of entering into active politics.
Just I want to go a little back into what you said. Yeah, but Amit, you are a very, very successful lawyer. You have been. It's not that you've just become successful. You have been for quite a few years now. A very successful lawyer. And generally in Goa, what we've seen is people who are, who are doing well in professions and all, generally don't get into politics. You know how it is, how politician. So how did, why, and
trend.
How did you get into it?
We always understood politics as a dirty game, a dirty place to be.
That's my point.
Now, it's been put in our mind, and we have seen how dirty Goan politics are. People jumping from one party to another, and some of them might have forgotten where they actually came into or started from.
Exactly.
Now, Kashasani, if you want to change the society, you have to bring in that change. We are in a comfortable position today that we don't want to move from there, and we expect government to do something for us. When government fails, I think it's time you get into that position where you can make that change and bring that change and be the change that you want. Now, Atakoni Manta, you are in such a good position, you are famous, you have all that is required to have a comfortable life. But whether my 6-year-old is going to have the same life, the way government is functioning right now, I don't see the future for her. Either I have to take the Portuguese passport and go to Europe because I have enough money. But what about those who do not have these resources? I have seen the talent. I have gone to the constituency. 5-6-year-old, 8-year-olds are getting into coding. Question, how do they manage it? So, the education sector has failed in Goa. There are no good schools. The good schools were stopped from coming to Goa because of the education policy which we had. Now, how do we change? How do we bring that change? You see IT, you see startup policy, you see ease of doing business. And being an entrepreneur also along with my wife, I know for a fact that Goa has immense potential. Now, how do we bring that change? That change can be brought only by us. And ती आमी हाडपाक जाय. And that is the reason. So I have left my comfortable position from the office and gone back to a constituency where it is very difficult to reach out to certain houses. It is such a bad state of that constituency. But I think there is a little bit of balancing act I need to do. You will see me in white. The reason is that whilst I am doing my door to door, I am also going to courts. I have not neglected my office. I don't want to stop my profession, because the day I stop profession, I will have no source of income. मागीर चोरपाक लागप हांचे भशेन ते पॉलिटिशियन्स सोडटा आपले सगळे बाकीचे धंदे, कारण थंय चोरपाक बसता. तें करपाचें ना. I want to stay in politics because I want to bring in that change. I want to see my Goa, which I used to see 20 years back, and I want to show that to my child 20 years hence. आणि ते करतलो जाल्यार आमी केन्ना तरी एक प्लंज घेवची पडटा, and that's the reason I've taken this plunge. It is a very difficult decision. There was a lot of repulsion from the family की आताच टायम मेळना, मागीर कसो मेळटलो, मागीर तूं कितें करतलो. म्हणजे टायम मॅनेजमेंट म्हणून आसा पळय, 24 वरां सारकी प्रॅक्टिकली डिवायड करत जाल्यार सगळ्यो गोश्टी जाता. आनी आमी आतां ते करत आसा. 2 वरां सकाळी, 2 वरां सांजची, मदल्या वेळान प्रोफेशन, 1 वर फॅमिली कडेन दिवप, भाजी अजून हाडटा, नुस्तें अजून हाडपाक वता. So I have not left that. So I see it's a responsibility. You cannot leave your family. See, every comfort or every change starts with yourself. If you neglect your family and say I am going to do only politics, you can't be a good politician. Then you will not have that compassion that every politician should have, and that's what is lacking. त्या खातीर आपलो इंटरेस्ट पयलो येता आनी मागीर लोकांचो इंटरेस्ट येता. जेन्ना तो कंपॅशन यू बिल्ड इट इन युअर सेल्फ, ओनली दॅट पॉयंट ऑफ टायम यू कॅन पास इट ऑन. यू कॅन कनेक्ट टू पीपल, एंड आय कॅन सी इट. आर कॉन्स्टिट्युएन्सीन आज जो मोग दिसून येता पळय न्ही, आमी म्हजो 2-3 किलो वेट वाडला फाटल्या 8-10 दिसांनी. द रिजन इज आय शूड हॅव लॉस्ट इट, बट द लव यो म्हणटा तूं बस आमचे बरोबर जेव. पीपल हू हॅव मिनिमल थिंग्स इन देयर लायफ देर आर वेलकमिंग, and what they are welcoming, not me, a change that they want and that they see in me, and that's what makes me proud, and it gives me an immense happiness. आज जे करता पळय तातल्यान जे हॅपिनेस दिसून येता पळय न्ही, more than anything else, that there are expectations. It's a huge responsibility they are trying to put on my shoulders, and I'm willing to take it in any form that it comes.
So basically, this could be the reason why you joined AAP and you did not join, say, the BJP or the Congress, which are more established parties. Is this the reason?
1997, okay. I joined BJP along with my mother.
Okay, 97.
97. When party was just entering into Goa.
Yes.
Party आमी एस्टाब्लिश केली वेगवेगळ्या तरेन काम करून. पार्टी सांगता म्हणूनच बाबुशा सारक्या मनशाक 5 वर्सां काम केलें. When he got elected, I was his proposer. Really? For 5 years, I did not see him in the constituency. Now, for whatever reasons, he abandoned the constituency, even though he used to do little bit small work here and there, but constituency जो neglect झालो पळय, आमकां कितें आशिल्लें, आमचें एक्सपेक्टेशन इतलेंच आशिल्लें बाबुशा कडल्यान. जो तालिगांवान तेन्ना डेव्हलपमेंट दिसून आयिल्लो त्या वेळार, तो आतां जाला तो हॅपेझार्ड. आतां ओन्ली कॉन्क्रीट जंगल जाले, रस्तो करप आनी सायडीन मागीर सेटलमेंट करून प्रॉपर्टीज कन्स्ट्रक्ट करप. दॅट्स नॉट कॉल्ड डेव्हलपमेंट, बट से कम्युनिटी सेंटर आयले किंवा जी गोष्ट बेनिफिशियल फॉर द विलेजर्स आयली, त्यो गोष्टी थंय आमकां दिसून आयल्यो. त्यो गोष्टी आमी सांताक्रुजान एक्सपेक्ट करतालीं. आज मेरशेन एक ग्रावंड आसा जो पंचायतीन केला, म्हजी आवय सरपंच आसतना. आनी चिंबेलान तूं आज सोदल्यार तुका खेळपाक भुरग्यांक जागो ना. अशे 4 घरां मदीं इल्लोसो कितें करता आनी ते खेळटात. देर इज नो PHC, बेसीक एम्युनिटीज लायक स्वताची PHC ना. You have to go to GMC for regular OPDs. 70,000 लोक आसा with health center registered who have to go to GMC or the PSC which is located on Bambolim. बारीकशा घरांशी आसा आनी हांगा एक मेकशिफ्ट जाग्यार केला. 70,000 तालिगांव, सांताक्रूज, चिंबेल, मेर्शे आनी पार्ट ऑफ सिरिगांव एड करत जाल्यार 70,000 आसा लोक, and that overburdens GMC's OPD. आतां ह्यो गोश्टी कोण लक्षांत घेना. ह्यो गोश्टी आमी स्टडी केला. बेसीक इश्यू कब्रस्ताना सारको इश्यू 12 वर्सां जाली पेंडींग आसा. It affects part of Santa Cruz, it affects Panjim. What is the MLA doing? Who is part of Panjim, who is part of Santa Cruz, who is part of Taligaon? आमी घेतल्या इश्यू आमी घेतल्या कारण आमी स्टडी केली लोकांक कितें जाय लोकांचे लॅकिंग कितें गरजे आसा एवरीथींग इज पॉसिबल टू सॉर्ट यू जस्ट हॅव टू हॅव द वील आय हॅड द वील एंड देन वी ट्रायड टू पुट इट टू दॅम ह्यो गजाली आसा पळय ह्यो सॉर्ट कित्याक जायना कितें जाता 2-3 हजार स्क्वेअर मिटर जागो एक्वायर करून दिवपाक churches have lacking now space lacking for burial grounds acquire it give it to the membership members of the churches various parishes give it to various kabristan jamats of various masjid and solve these problems kidak zaina karan you have political reasons to oppose everything or no political will to do it and when you don't have that will then certainly there is somebody who will rise revolution तशेंच जाता जर सगळे कम्फर्टेबल आशिल्ले आनी जर पॉलिटिशियन आपलें काम करत आशिल्ले जाल्यार म्हज्या सारक्या मनशाक पॉलिटिक्सान येवपाची गरज नाशिल्ली पूण जेन्ना ते फेल जाता देन इट इज योर ड्युटी टू बी दॅट चेंज एंड एज आय सेड बी दॅट चेंज मीन्स आय वील ब्रिंग इन दॅट चेंज
I would like to change it slightly. I don't know, you may say that I'm being whatever, I have no issues on that. Now we know that the main opposition party in the past 5 years, 7 years I think, I'm not, maybe almost 10 years, has been the Congress. Now I don't know how much of an opposition the Congress has been, at least in the past 5 years. I don't know. That maybe you can tell me. But I don't know. So, but the Congress has always won on the, I don't know how to say it, but the minority community, the Catholic vote. But what is the, it is never like AAP has given it has said that no, we are going to have chief minister from here, deputy chief minister from here. Now what could be the reason why, I am not asking about AAP, that we can get into it, why you think the Congress has taken these communities for granted?
See, when people put in faith in you, when people have hope in you, you have to live up to that expectation.
Yes.
When your selfish motives come it goes beyond that people's expectation, then you tend to change. As Jenna 17 MLNची mandate dili for Congress, they could not decide who could be the chief minister, and midnight political dramas. BJP, which had not got mandate of people, formed the government. Thereafter 10 जाणांचे थंय गेले, प्रोग्रेस करतले म्हणून, डेव्हलपमेंट करतले म्हणून, तातूंत आमचो एमएलए आशिल्लो. हय, आमचो आसा. आज ताका टिकेट दिना, कित्याक ते म्हणटा तो फेलियर म्हणून. परिस्थिती अशी आसा की आज दे आर ट्रायंग टू गिव टिकेट टू समबडी एल्स. तो फेल जालो खंय तरी. नाव if people have put faith in, there has always been a communal thing to politics, always divisive politics करून जो party जिकत आयला पळय तातूंत Congress is also one of the biggest stakeholder.
At least, but not on the face, under the...
underlying असा मायनॉरिटीक यूज करप खंय तरी आनी मायनॉरिटीच्या वोटाचेर निवडून येवप आनी मागीर तीच मॅन्डेट जी लोकांनी तुमकां दिल्या ती तुमी खंय तरी डस्टबिनान घालप आनी जॉइन अ पार्टी which people have rejected. Now, you ask this question to Congress, as Congress is a B team of BJP, and it is apparent. रेजिनाल्ड बाब तो म्हणटा कोणाक मेळपाक गेल्लो म्हणून पॉलिटिकल स्ट्रॅटेजिस्टाक 12 सुमार इन कॉफी घेवपाक कॉफी रूमान सर्व करनात फॉर गेस्ट.
Really?
Oh, they are to be served in the restaurants. Why he had gone to similar floors where Mr. Fadnavis was there? Now this is the question which I think people are not mad as. You see, people know it. तू कितले तांकां पिशे करपाक ट्राय कर, यू कांट फूल ऑल द पीपल ऑल द टायम. आज ह्यो दोनी पार्टी हेच करत आसा. आतां तुवें म्हणलें म्हाका आप जशें तूं म्हणटा, यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट दे वील मेक अ पर्टिक्युलर पर्सन CM फ्रॉम फेस वील बी फ्रॉम पर्टिक्युलर कम्युनिटी एंड डेप्युटी CM फ्रॉम कॅथलीक म्हणल्यार. आज दोनाय पार्टींनी BJP आनी काँग्रेसान प्रत्येक समाजाचो, मायनॉरिटी आसूं किंवा OBC आसूं की बहुजन समाज जाका आमी म्हणटा तांचो यूज करत आयला. तांकां जो प्लॅटफॉर्म मेळपाक जाय आशिल्लो तो खंय मेळ्ळा. यू सी द जनरेशन from 1961 to now, you see how many CMs have Goa seen from Catholic community, from Bandari community. You see the time.
Year,
why exactly? 2.5 years for Bandari and one year, 1.5 year.
1 year.
You see this? Yes. Yet Catholics have supported ruling party at every given point of time, and every given point of time they have been shown down. And that is what Congress did perfectly last time. Why BJP was rejected by Congress, by Catholics, or for that matter minorities? Because they were seeing a promise in Congress party ki ye kire tari amka ata we are trying to get them elected, they will bring in a change, but they failed people. Now they have shifted to BJP. तांच्या भितरय आता नाव झगडे आसा. थोडे म्हणटा आपण परत येता बेब्याचे ऑडियो म्हणटा पळय तशें म्हणटा it is happening. So you are not, it's not about communities, it's about every Goan. Goan genetics is what? Goan genetics is I celebrate Christmas with same fervor that I celebrate Diwali. I get biryanis and I wait for it for Eid. आणि म्हजो जो मुस्लिम भाव आसा तो म्हज्या घरान घुमटो देता. That is Goa. Where is that Goa? You see social media. You see how communities are being divided over religion and caste. You are talking about caste-based politics being played by AAP? Certainly not. You have played it all along. आणि गोयचे genetics जर आज शेणटा जाल्यार government is responsible. I have not put in my mind my mind or my child's mind that she is Hindu, Catholic or she can't do this. She believes in Santa Claus as much as I believe in Krishna or whatever that is there. But see how the shift that is there. You see narcasus that have come up in the elections here. Who are funding these narcasus? You see the narcasus are being funded by political narcasus. लाख रुपया 1.5 लाख रुपया रस्त्यार जोळपाक भुरग्यांक दिता 4 पर्यंत सोरोप दिता. You see why it happens only during election year. Why you see 200 narcasus instead of 100 in one small village during election year? Because a narcasur, who the political narcasur has funded this, because he knows now I will feed these guys for this particular period of time and they'll get me elected. Na, आज ते लोक करना. आज youth is now aware. आज शिकला तो. So तो नरकासूर जो दिवाळेक जळयल्लो पळय आनी जो आमी ओल्ड मॅन जळयतलो पळय 31st, that will be that political persons or those people who have ruled Goa by divisions, who have taken people for ride, who have taken Goans for ride.
See, yesterday a very senior politician, congressman was here with us. Trajan was here, and he made some really startling allegations against certain leaders, very tall leaders of the Congress, not only at the local level and a national level. That is something that you can probably see on how this. But what I'm saying is that basically, one point that really struck me was that he was told, literally in writing, that he should not take up certain issues against the government. One. Second thing, he was, during the municipal elections and the Zilla elections, allegations were there that tickets were sold. Allegations were there. And he's saying he has put it in writing. So my point is this a message for Goans that as an opposition, the Congress has failed? One, from what you can see, even if you go and look at the last assembly election, I think the heroes of the assembly, the last assembly, the heroes were probably Sudhin Dhaulekar and Vijay Sardesai and Rohan County, not the Congress, though it was one assembly before the elections. But the Congress has failed as a opposition. Now, I am sure every party has to say, AAP has to say, no, we will win. But in case you cannot form the government, will you be an opposition like the Congress, or will you actually be a proper opposition?
Let's talk about Trajan. Trajan is a very vocal person.
Yes,
Trajan has taken issues all over Goa, which actually matters to Goans. He is now no more a party person. He has been removed from the party.
Yes.
Very sad. And that is what Congress is. The opposition, when you talk about opposition, you've seen how AAM ADMI Party has come up in last 1.5, 2 years. In spite of not being in government, in spite of not having a single MLA, we have brought it or opposed or brought out the corruption issues. You see IFI corruption. But we will take it to a logical conclusion. There are so many issues which have been taken. Assurance, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So why is Congress lacking in this? Being in assembly, be the voice of Goans who want to oppose so many things. They are least interested. As you said, 2-3 people have been the voices who have opposed. Where has been Congress? Have you heard Digambar Kamath speak quite a bit about opposing government in any form in assembly? There are so many other leaders of Congress. Reginald is still not sure where he wants to go. So he has made every leadership. So even you don't know before elections whether he will jump here, there or wherever he wants to be, or whether he is going to meet more political strategists. So when an MLA like Reginald, who is supposed to be otherwise above board, but with his current, I have my doubts with whatever that he wants to say, but why does an MLA like Reginald have to go house to house searching for opportunities? Because when his party fails him, when his party leadership fails him, that he will look for opportunities. As I said, if he is comfortable in a party, he knows his party is going to back him. If his party has lost that credibility, then only look for some options, and that's what is happening. So you can't completely blame him. Probably he is left with no option because party is selling their seats, party is trying to sell their tickets, and that is what we are seeing over the spectrum that is happening. आज काँग्रेसीन म्हणटा आमकां तो येवंक जाय तो नाका, तो येवंक जाय तो नाका, हांगच्यान आमचो उडयो मारत गेलो. कितें केलें तुमी? What have you done about it? Now, even if you consider BJP, now they have kept the sword hanging on these 10 persons until before elections. So it's very simple. You be in the place that you want to be, others will disqualify you. So, ultimately is the mandate of the constitution, which, see, you can't play with constitution. You are doing it day in, day night. I always say, an encyclopedia karung sakta government. On the ruling party, BJP can make a dictionary, encyclopedia, whatever you want to call it, and write about training how people should defect to each other parties, and it can work out well. They should hold actually classes for the rest of the country politicians. This is how you can defect, and the loopholes how constitution can be, interpretation is left to the Supreme Court. But आमच्या गोंयकारांनी जे गोवन पॉलिटिशियनांनी ज्या तरेन कॉन्स्टिट्युशनाचो वापर केला पळय आणि रूल्स एंड रेग्युलेशनाचो वापर केला पळय, I have to give it to them because they are intelligent crooks. And that's why, why young people do not want to come into politics is they look at this.
Exactly.
They look at this politicians and say, why be that dirty like them? But if tu jar gataran devana ni घाण साफ जावची ना. If you want to clean the gutter, you have to get in there. And that is why we make a choice to enter there, and we are going to feel a little dirt around us. But it's very easy to clean it. You have to have the will to do it. You have to have the backup of people. Once you have backup of people, you can always clean that.
Basically, the will part, I totally agree with you. If you have the will, at least, you can get something
Absolutely.
done. You can move in opposition. You can do something. And one thing I've seen now, though...
but if you're talking about opposition, the way it is going right now, and we are getting support from the people, we might be forming the government.
Fair enough, absolutely. I totally agree with what you have to say. I may not.
And constituency like Santa Cruz, walk with me, not as a news person. Walk with me just like my worker, like my volunteer, and you see the love and affection. You see, see the light in their eyes. You see the expectations they have from a politician. Santa Cruz, which was supposed to be a bastion of Congress, is saying, you don't even come back again, we are with you. Place like Indiranagar, which they said only money can win.
Money can win.
Today, they are giving me dinners, they are giving me tea, making me fat. What I mean to say is that they are fed
I get
up.
your point. Yeah.
They are upset. And I can feel it. And I can see it, why it's happening. You see that. You see the state of their life. Some of them have money, but no standard of living.
The principal opposition party, as of today, I'm talking about this assembly, is the Congress of what? Where? Who's? We didn't hear anything of this.
Obviously, because nobody is pointing out. I don't know. आज आम्ही ground reality रोताले. आम्ही चांगले. We brought it out on Facebook, social media, and all the platforms that we could. कोणी विचारलं ivermectin खय गेले? Ivermectin, which was brought in as generic medicine, then they said no, it cannot be used. 16 कोटीचे कितें ivermectin order केले. खय आसा काँग्रेसीन हो क्वेश्चन केन्ना उठयला? काँग्रेसीन विचारला केन्ना की प्रायम मिनिस्टर फंडांतल्यान जे हांगा वेंटिलेटर आयिल्ले 8 लाखाचे जे गव्हर्मेंटांनी घेतिल्ले ते चलना कित्याक म्हणून क्वेश्चन केला? आर वी रेडी फॉर थर्ड वेव? एनीबडी हॅज क्वेश्चन दिस? Nobody questions is why super speciality block was not ready when the building was ready in June. Anybody questioned it? It was for social organization who put in the first beds in there. I was part of that moment. Through our Rotary Club of Panji Riviera, we put in the beds there. First beds were put in there. Now, why did government not do it? If we as NGOs work towards it, why could not government do it? Were you not ready?
Opposition bring it up. Both.
Exactly.
No, it is one hand.
See, basically because they are hand in glove. The problem is they are part आपले झाले की झाले.
It was very interesting talking to you. Plus, I don't think anybody can possibly forget about those COVID days when people were dying, no oxygen in JMC. I know because I remember I used to get phone calls at 2, 3 in the morning. Arey, there's no oxygen. It was very traumatic, very terrible.
We used to stay awake till 5 in the morning,
Yes,
monitoring this situation.
Yes,
But if you see, I know we might be exceeding a 30-second thing here. But as Sarkar manta, kai na re, Goans memory is short-lived. They forget everything. We will see when when time comes, elections happen, Goans will forget. No, they have not forgotten. There is death in every neighborhood.
Yes, I know. And lots of families have lost people. Thanks again, Amit Bab. Thank you very much. Thank you. And keep watching Goa 360.